Waterford is a city that knows exactly how old it is and is not shy about reminding you. If you stand along the quays and let the River Suir slide past with its tidal patience, you can almost hear the creak of longships and the murmur of traders arguing over silver. If you enjoy stunning drone views paired with unforgettable history, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an adventure with Horizon History. Let's take flight. Waterford was founded by Vikings in 914, and unlike many Irish towns that prefer to begin their story with saints and saints alone, Waterford begins quite happily with men who arrived in boats and meant business. The Norse called it Vedrafjordr, windy fjord, which is either a poetic description or a complaint that the weather had not improved since they left Scandinavia. They established a fortified settlement, built walls, traded slaves, wool, wine, and whatever else might turn a profit. Waterford became one of Ireland's principal Viking ports, connected to a wide maritime network stretching from Dublin to Bristol and beyond. Archaeology has confirmed what the legend suggested. This was no minor outpost, but a thriving urban centre long before many others had thought to pave a street. By the 12th century, the Normans arrived, and Waterford changed hands yet again. Strongbow, Richard de Clare, married Awif, daughter of the Irish king Diarmait mac Murchada, in Waterford in 1170, an event of such political consequence that it might well have been the most consequential wedding ever held in Ireland. If the guests had known it would pave the way for centuries of English involvement, they might have chosen a smaller cake. The city became a key Norman stronghold, its defensive walls expanded, and its strategic importance sealed. Waterford likes to describe itself as urbs intacta, Manet Waterfordia. Waterford remains the untaken city. The motto refers to its loyalty to the English crown during the Wars of the Roses, for which it was rewarded with that rather proud phrase. Whether the city was truly untouched in every sense is debatable. History is rarely so tidy, but the motto has endured, carved into civic identity with admirable confidence. Medieval Waterford prospered through trade. Wine from Bordeaux flowed in, hides and wool flowed out, and the quays buzzed with languages and accents. The city's merchants grew wealthy and built sturdy stone houses that spoke of permanence. The Viking Triangle, that compact core of early settlement, remains today as a visible reminder of those layered centuries. Walk its streets, and you tread on Norse ambition, Norman stonework, and Irish resilience all at once. Religion left its mark here as deeply as commerce. Christ Church Cathedral traces its origins back to the 11th century, though the present structure bears the marks of later centuries. Nearby, the ruins of the Franciscan friary whisper of monastic life and the disruptions of the Reformation. The Cathedral of the Most Holy Trinity, more commonly known as Waterford Cathedral, rose in the 18th century as a sign of Catholic renewal. Faith in Waterford has always been earnest, though rarely dull. The 17th century brought turmoil. During the Confederate Wars, Waterford resisted English parliamentary forces with notable determination. Oliver Cromwell laid siege to the city in 1649, but failed to take it directly, partly due to stout defences and partly due to disease ravaging his troops. Waterford, for once, escaped the worst of Cromwell's wrath, an achievement that likely earned it several quiet toasts in later years. By the 18th century, Waterford entered a different chapter, one of refinement and glass. In 1783, the Waterford Glass Company was established, and crystal became synonymous with the city's name. Fine-cut glass, sparkling and precise, travelled from Waterford to royal courts and grand dining tables across Europe and America. It is a pleasing irony that a city founded by rough-edged Vikings would become famous for delicate craftsmanship. The glass industry endured interruptions and closures over the centuries, but its reputation never dimmed entirely. The 19th century was marked by both progress and sorrow. The Great Famine struck the surrounding countryside cruelly, and Waterford, as a port, became a departure point for emigrants seeking survival overseas. Ships sailed heavy with hope and grief in equal measure. The city witnessed both the resilience of those who stayed and the courage of those who left. Politically, Waterford played its part in Ireland's struggle for independence. The city saw agitation, organisation, and occasional unrest. though it never quite matched the notoriety of Dublin or Cork in revolutionary lore. Instead, Waterford maintained its character as a working port city, practical and quietly determined. In the 20th century, industry shifted, economies faltered and revived, and the old quays were gradually reshaped. Yet Waterford retained its identity. The Viking Triangle was rediscovered not merely as tourist branding, but as genuine heritage. Museums rose where warehouses once stood. The House of Waterford Crystal reconnected the city with its glittering legacy, reminding visitors that craftsmanship can survive upheaval if pride remains intact. There is humor in Waterford too, though it is often dry as a warehouse floor. The city has long been known for its hurling prowess, and matches are treated with a seriousness that borders on theological debate. A Waterford supporter can recount a missed goal from 20 years ago with the clarity of a fresh wound, yet still laugh at the memory. Today, Waterford balances its ancient past with modern ambition. The Suir still dictates the rhythm of the tides. Ships still dock, though their cargo is different. The medieval walls stand in fragments, dignified and stubborn. The city's skyline is a mixture of cathedral spires, industrial cranes, and modern bridges that arc over the river like confident signatures. Waterford's story is one of endurance and adaptation, founded by Vikings, fortified by Normans, shaped by merchants, refined by glassmakers, tested by famine and war. It remains a city that understands the value of continuity. It does not shout its history, it simply lives within it. Stand on the quay at dusk and watch the light catch the water. You may imagine the first longship edging into the harbour, sails taut against the wind. You may picture Strongbow's wedding guests, unaware of the centuries they were setting in motion. You may even think of a craftsman at his bench, coaxing brilliance from molten glass. Waterford contains them all: warriors, merchants, artisans, emigrants, folded into a single, steady narrative. And as the tide turns once more, as it has since 914, Waterford remains what it has always been, a city shaped by water and will, by trade and tenacity, by a quiet certainty that history is not merely something that happened here, but something that continues to flow, tide after tide, through its enduring heart. Thanks for flying with Horizon History. If you enjoyed the journey, those sweeping drone views, and the stories woven beneath them, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us where you'd like to explore next. Your support keeps us in the sky and the history coming. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon.